but it will come to nothing. Speak the word, but it will not stand. Why not? He concludes the statement by saying, for God is with us. But in Hebrew, that word is for Emmanuel. Yeah, what Isaiah is saying there is the nations have all these plans. They're not going to stand. They're going to be broken. What's going to stand in the way? Emmanuel. See, this Emmanuel is not a mere human being. This Emmanuel is the one who stands against all these nations that are coming against Israel.
Thank you. If you know, in Hebrew language, there are tens of names, or perhaps hundreds of names, that the meaning of those names is God is with us, or God watch over us, or God is our source, or many other names. Nobody ever claimed that just because the word El, Emmanuel, or different El, or Daniel, or all kinds of names, because the name El is in it, so he's the Messiah, or he's the master of the land. But I just want to make sure that I highlight the point that I told you before. Please. We are still speaking about the Alma, the young lady, and I would like to give you an example what I meant before, maybe to make it a little bit more clear to you. This is what I'm going to go ABC. First, the prophet was sent to the king of Ahaz before the war with those three kings, as you mentioned, Ahaz, Pakach, and Razim. The prophet Yeshayahu lived 600 years before Jesus was born, 2,600 years ago. As you know, I'm sure, 26 in the time of King Chizkiyahu, 2,600 years ago. That means 600 years before Jesus was even born, before anybody knew about him. God sent the prophet to tell the king of Israel that right now I'm going to send you a sign that you're going to win the war. And please pay attention to the details, because the way you presented it, you skip one or two things that change the entire subject. And those are the things which I like to highlight. First, the first example is that the daughter or the wife is pregnant. Nobody knows about it yet. She will give birth to a boy. The name of that boy eventually will be called Emmanuel. This boy will eat delicious food, such as butter and honey, even though, remember, the prophecy described that in this particular moment, there were ambush around the land, starvation, there is nothing to eat, even simple basic food are not in the existence. Comes the prophet against all odds and tell him, this son that will be born will already eat like a king, even though he's still not even an infant. And before he will know to tell the difference between good and bad, the country will be redeemed from the enemies. Tell me, please, what's the connection between the sign that God sends 600 years before Jesus was born, God sending a sign to the people of the land that the wife of the king or the daughter is going to have a baby, and this baby would live like a king, even though right now it's hard to believe that in 9 months the situation will change completely. That's how you know that God is serious about what he promised. Now remember, the word Alma, I insist, without any doubt, means young lady. Nowhere in the entire Bible it says that Alma means a virgin. I would like to give you a proof for that, in case you have a doubt. It says like this. The way of the eagle in heaven, in the way of a boat in the middle of the ocean, the way of a man with relation with the young lady, Alma. I will translate. The same way when an eagle flies in the sky, he does not leave any track. Nobody knows that an eagle was there 5 minutes ago. There's no track. The same way when a boat passed in the ocean, 10 minutes later you don't have any tracks. A man that have relation with Alma, okay, leaves no track. based on your translation, it should have been the opposite. Because the word Alma, it's a young lady, another virgin. And remember, if we were talking about a virgin woman, for sure a man leave a sign. After a man have relation for the first time with a virgin woman, the verse should have said the opposite. The same way a man leaves track after having relation with a virgin, and the verse say exactly the opposite, which is a clear proof to the fact that we are talking about a young lady, has nothing to do with a virgin, and this is what you've been using for many, many years to tell the people that there's a prophecy that's speaking about a virgin, knowing this prophecy has nothing to do with Jesus. Remember, this is in different context, 600 years before, and the signs that the prophet gave the nation of Israel never happened in the life of Jesus. Jesus did not born into this situation and lived his life like a king. In his life, they didn't need a sign that the enemies would leave the land, and in 9 months, what's the connection? Why would God come to the king now and give him a sign to this existing moment about something that is going to happen 600 years when they have no connection whatsoever? But not only that, remember that so far from the beginning of the conversation, I asked you about the 25 differences between one book, which is Matthew, and the other book, which is not supposed to contradict. If God gave the descendants of King David, it has to match 100%. A normal human being does not need more than one mistake in a book that someone is claimed that God gave it to know that it's not a divine book. If I open the book and I have 25 different mistakes in half a page, not one mistake, 25 different mistakes, which one of the two books were given by God? It's impossible that God gave two books with 25 different names. God doesn't know the order from King David until we arrive to Joseph the carpenter. Plus, even if there were no mistakes, even if the names are 100% match, who wants to come to describe that Joseph is a grandson of King David, when right after that he himself writes that Joseph has nothing to do with the son, is not the father? Now I would like to respond to what you said before. You say that sometimes descendants go by the mother. You know very well that it's a very, very incorrect statement. Because throughout the Torah always refers to the father. לממשפחותם, לבית אבותם. Nowhere in history a person became a Kohen because his mother is a Kohen. If his mother is a Kohen and his father is just an Israelite, he is a regular Israelite and he doesn't have all the benefits of the Kohen. Nobody in history, before Christianity even started, had even the thought to think to link a person based on his mother. That's one thing. And plus, just to finish one more sentence, if it goes by the mother, as you may refer, tell me please, why did you waste a page to prove that the father is a grandson of King David? You should have done the opposite. You should write, Mary is the daughter of Yocheved, the daughter of Rachel, the daughter of Sarah, the daughter of Leah, the daughter of whatever, and until you reach King David. There's no indication that you were trying to link Miriam to King David. And you agree that King David is not the father of God. You understand that. So please answer me this question. Just to that particular question that we left open from before, the 25 contradictions and the father and the son and Joseph and everything that I just mentioned.
Okay. Okay, let me just deal very briefly with the genealogy again. You know, why are there two genealogies? Maybe the Bible just wants to cover the bases, and because Joseph isn't the biological father, maybe they thought, well, they have to justify it with both. I'm not sure exactly why. Getting back to the Isaiah prophecy, which is a